Is this it? Is this what we can expect now? Win it ugly, offense looking for its rhythm, but the defense, hey, the defense is back. I kind of dig that. We're going to get into it. The Chiefs have beaten the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football. This is going to be fun. We'll go over the notes. Welcome to RGR Football. Welcome back, Chiefs fans. A win is a win. That's what I'm going with right now. This is the breakdown. He's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. This is RGR Football. If you would, leave a sub and a like and a bell notification click. That will help you know what's going on. We're going to get knee-deep into it, go over our notes, maybe even answer a question or two. Just a heads up also, if you guys are up late, I'm going to be on CBS Sports Radio later tonight and go over this game and do the draft show and do the breakdown. Locked On Chiefs will come out. So I'll be up for a few hours.
I'll say Ryan's not going to go to bed till 2 a.m.
Yeah, right. So. That's what happens on a late game. So I just feel kind of right now. You know, how are you doing?
You know, I'm a little more optimistic than I think people are. I know that wins are hard to come by in the NFL. Okay. Like this is, we always just remember the Chiefs offense for being what it was the last couple of years, but it's never always going to be that way. Like you can't, if there's one thing we've learned watching football, everything fluctuates. Everything. Nothing is constant for that long. The Chiefs offense was great, historically great for a stretch that was not known for them ever historically. So eventually it was going to come back to earth. But learning to win with your defense in December and into January is the most important thing that this team has needed to do to find itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So while, does watching the offense do nothing most of the game? Is that fun? No. I'm frustrated. I'm sick about some of the things Andy Reid just decided to say. Oh, let's just take this out of the playbook. We're going to take this out. We're going to take this out. We're going to start doing stuff that works. And yeah, I'm mad about it. But I think that the defense is starting to learn how to win games. And I think that that's just as important as the offense finding its rhythm, which I'm really hoping is going to happen at some point.
Knock on wood. We're going to get into Andy here in a minute. We want to hit through our notes. Thank you guys for the super chats. I'm going to get to you in just a second. I appreciate the support as we always do. If you do want to support us, you can hit the super chat button. You can get something in the RGR store. You can join the memberships. The memberships get you into the Discord and get you the extra videos as long as you're the rookie level or above. If you would do that, email me at rgrpodcast at Gmail, please. I try to throw that up when I do that so that everybody can see it. There we go. That's the email address that you need to send to. Otherwise, I'm going to space it, and I'm not going to get you your invite, and I know that sucks. And I am going to say something, and I know you guys are waiting for it. Good for Dan Sorensen.
Yeah, that's it.
You know
that's all it is.
He's a little bit behind the play, and it was thrown right to him. I think, honestly, Dan Sorensen should be buying steaks and maybe a car for Ben Neiman tonight.
Yep.
That's what
Go buy him a dinner, do something, because, and not just that, but Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, the last time he had that pick, it was in the Sunday game against the Raiders. Now he has another one. It's a pick six. And apparently he's like second in the NFL since 2007 in pick sixes behind Marcus Peters, which
is scary in and of itself, right?
It's just kind of disgusting when you think you say it. It does not sound like it should come out of your mouth, but it does. And yeah, we did nothing but drag Dan Sorensen for good reason. Okay, guys.
Those reasons are all still valid.
They're all still valid. But right now you're seeing him being used in the only way where he can make an impact. And that's the point.
Well, and I'll say this too. There is also, like, Dan can be a roller coaster. And as long as you're getting these plays out of him, you can deal with what we saw early in the season where all the bad plays. But the problem is he wasn't making enough good plays to balance it out. And if you get some equilibrium from Dan, then he can be a contributor just like he is now. And I think that's good for him. He's always had a knack for the ball. You guys have always heard me say, even when I am complaining about him, that he has a knack and a nose for the ball. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think the bigger thing that folks kind of overlooked was not just that Juan made a play on a ball, but where Juan made the play from. And that's because he had too high over the top and he was the robber. The key is the scheme in the defense because it puts you in space to jump those routes. And that's where you let Juan be instinctual. Normally, he's the guy over the top protecting Tyron so that he can do that. And I'm pretty excited about that. We all know about the contract extensions and all that, but in here, I just said Juan just made his play to be the number one safety on this team next year.
I'm so happy. I mean, I know we were all here Thursday when I said I wanted him to get that pick, and then it finally comes to fruition. It's satisfying. And like you said, seeing him starting to learn to play that robber role, to be more of a complete safety, not just a deep safety, that is everything, because it will you could do so many different things with Tyron and Juan when they both can play each other's roles. Like that's and you heard Chris Collinsworth say that they've never done that with Juan this year, and Teddy Bridgewater didn't expect him to be there, and that's exactly why he got that pick, because the quarterback was not expecting him to be there, and he just slid in front of the ball and said, "Hi, thank you, I'll take this."
Sully, I'm glad you pointed this out. We'll come back to that later. But you're right, and that's the thing, is the lack of expectation for Juan to be there is what made that play. And now all of a sudden it's a no blank moment for the rest of the league, because now they can't just watch film and think Juan's the cover guy, he's going to let Tyron do this. Now you have to be on your toes, and this is again just the evolution of this. And they talked about it a little on the broadcast, and I just agree with them in execution, but not in concept. It is an evolution of this defense this year. Every team is different. This one in particular is the evolution of the young guys, of the rookies that are participating, of the Sneeds who has taken another step up. They gave him a lot of praise, but they didn't really explain that he was good last year. This defense was kind of floundering, and he was one of the steady points in the first part of the season. And now that's all coming together. And I got to tell you, I mean, Mike Burton's getting first downs. They're running the ball like it matters, and the defense is played. Like, this is my dream scenario. Just crush teams' will to live. That's what I'm here for.
It's funny that, we've asked for over a year now for the Chiefs to use the running backs in passing situations and use them, and they didn't drop a ball today. Still only targeted 5 times. That has to change. It literally has to change going forward. And when you're trying to do screens on like second and third and long and not first down, sometimes you want to change things up offensively. Do them on first down. Teams know what you're doing on first down. Either you're going to run the ball or run an RPO. That's why teams are getting their hands up on those RPOs. And the RPO is killing this offense. It's killing the offense.
It is. It's concentrating too much on one concept, and they're doing other things well, like you said. For me, the play of the day for Clyde was not the screen. It was that little fake motion in, snap it so that he can pivot, and got right out there. It was like a quick 7-yard. You can do that with anyone on this roster over and over and over.
They don't do it.
That's the problem. And it's bugging me. I just got to tell you, to see Clyde do that, that's what I've expected from Clyde from the day that he was drafted. So I'm happy. Maybe that's just a hint.
Maybe.
Because they clearly have some fish to fry to get this thing figured out on the offensive side. Javonte, thank you very much. Appreciate you. It does seem like the offense is holding back because it's such a long season. I generally would say no, but when things like that play come out, that makes me think, did they really just come up with this concept, or have they known that they have to go to this and they didn't want to put it on film too early in the season?
I don't know, man. This is the thing with Andy Reid that I'm really mad about. And we talked about it briefly before we came on. Early in the game, you guys saw clear out routes. They were just like, okay, you guys run down the field, and I'm going to take Tyreek Hill and run him underneath. Okay? 10 yards, a pop. Easy. And then Andy Reid, like I said earlier, he's just like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to throw it away. You didn't see it once the rest of the game.
Do you have a concept for why? Because I know I do.
No, I don't. I have zero reasoning why, other than maybe people start to get their hands up. I don't know.
It's Andy. It is, oh, look, we are going to be able to stop them. The defense is on. We don't have to do this. We can still eke out a win without that. We don't have to give it away. He's always concerned about putting things on film. That I'm convinced of that after this ballgame.
I'm convinced that Andy Reid needs to get out of his own head.
Well, hey,
because
there's
that's
a lot
bad.
of room in there. He's been doing this a long time. Sometimes you overthink yourself because you've been in so many situations back and forth, right? Javon, thank you for the
Yes,
support. We appreciate it. And Wes, good question. Best thing we saw tonight is that the safeties, I mean, obviously the defense took another step forward. No, this wasn't a high-powered offense, and Javonte Williams was what we said he was last week, but they were able to sustain it. And honestly, if Snead doesn't fall down, I don't think they get in the end zone on that last touchdown drive.
The whole thing about that, he's been the only guy in the passing game that was working, and yet they just said, hey, go to the flat. We're not going to send anybody your way. And they did that constantly. You showed even on the last drive. Like, I get it, Spags. You don't want anyone to beat you deep, but you're on the 12-yard line. Maybe pay attention to the running back in the flat. Just a little bit. You don't score a touchdown there.
That and Ward on that 7-yard first down that he got spun around. And
it's because he immediately thinks, okay, they're just going to run deep on me because that's all anyone ever does.
Right? That's what I'm scared of, so that's what they got to do.
Yeah, like, okay, I just turn around. He pushes up forward. Okay, I'm turning my shoulders. He immediately breaks on anything that's downfield. And that's the problem with Charvarius Ward, is that if they were just to run slants on him all day, they'd be getting 7-10-yard chunks every single time. And then when he finally bites on it, they'd be doing double move where Cortland Sutton's going for a touchdown. That's what they should have done. But they don't do. It baffles my mind. You can't see on tape that Charvarius Ward, you know he can't come inside. He can't do it. But they just said, no, go deep. Like I saw Tim Patrick down there, Cortland Sutton. They're just deep. What are you guys doing?
But I will take that over Bears getting beat deep. So I can tease about it, but I can't complain for real. And Mac, I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. It is infuriating. He can design them. He won't call like he can be just as creative in the run game as he is in the pass game. It's just that he doesn't want to. He doesn't feel that's efficient enough. He doesn't feel like it does what his offense needs to do. And he's always been that way. He's never been a run the ball first or run the ball even in terms of play call volume. He's never been that coach. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. I would run the ball. You guys have heard me talk about this ad nauseum. Dan is tired of hearing me talk about this. So I feel where you're coming from, Mac. Thank you for the support. It's just Andy. We're just going to have to deal with it, man. Dirty Hall, I'm glad that you're happy. I'm glad for Dan Sorensen. And this makes Dan's other plays a lot more swallowable, like we said before. So good for him. And if he can do this down the stretch and make up for those times when he's ill-equipped, that goes a long way towards evening and making it justifiable to have him on the field. And I really do feel like having Neiman tip that, apply the pressure like that was justification for what they've been doing in terms of the rotation and having them as the third down package. So, good for them. They saw that and it's worked. Billy, no. Just no.
Yeah, please no.
Not going there. I don't want to see that on a flag tomorrow, folks. I'm just saying. Stevie, thank you as always. It seems like someone told Gooch to watch the big play from Sorensen. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from Gooch yet, so I hope he's okay. He might be screaming into a pillow right now. I don't know.
Probably just a little bit.
Jaden, how are you? Thank you for the support. I was watching Matt Castle. Was I watching Matt Castle or Patrick Mahomes? Do you think it's a miscommunication between Bieniemy, I'm sure you're saying, and Mahomes seemed frustrated? We all saw that shot at the end of the game. And I even put in my notes, I was like, this is more than just a temporary thing. That was more heated than I've seen the two of them have conversations before. And I do feel there are times, we saw it again tonight. The script is running, things are moving along, and then whoop, we ran out of our 15 and everything goes haywire. I do feel that there is some miscommunication, not between Mahomes and anyone, but between Reid and EB. I think this is starting to go in a direction I don't like.
It's funny because the first 15 works and people don't drop passes. So what happens after? Does everyone just say mentally check out? Because that's what it looks like right now. And you guys know I've asked him for Byron Pringle targets. He was getting open and he got some. He dropped some balls today, which just infuriates me.
Yeah.
He had the good catch after that, and then he did make up for it a little bit with that incredible gunner take the guy blocking him and throw him into the punt returner. Like, that was beautiful. But everyone on this team, outside of the running backs, is dropping balls. And we've talked about how turnovers like this have to stop at some point, right? No, they don't, because they're mentally checking out, whatever it is. After that script where they go down and they easily score a touchdown. It was easy for them on that first drive. They went down, boom, it was nothing. Everyone just said, okay, we're basically done here. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
It felt like it to me, like, oh, these guys can't really keep up with us putting points on the board, so we can relax.
Like they could have won 7-3, and that's kind of what it felt like after they scored that first touch, and they were like, okay, we don't have anything else to do here. Let's pack it up and go home. And I know Kelsey's getting doubled and thrown to the ground and held all the time.
Yeah.
But as a player of his magnitude and his competitive nature, I would think that'd make you want to catch those balls even more that come your way when you're getting manhandled all the time. So,
and at the same point, you just got to give up a yard and come back to the ball a little bit. You just have to end every route coming back to the ball a little bit. You know, I mean,
but no one does.
Sucks. Yeah, no one does, and that's the problem. I'm not going to put this at any coach's feet, but it does seem like just in general, all the pass catchers, these little spend a little time with the jugs machine, some assistants throwing passes, like the volume of catching needs to go up because we're still seeing the same thing.
I think we need to see some benching periodically throughout a game. Send a message. Everyone's doing it all season. This is not just a couple game stretch now. We are in the thick of it. It's December and it's still happening.
Yeah.
And I know that everyone doesn't want to hear that. But if you're not playing, something will click up here.
Problem is they can't get away with benching Hill and Kelsey.
You bench one at a time. I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
You could have done it today. They eked out that they won this
True,
game
in this
without
situation.
anybody.
Yeah. Jeremy, is Patrick skittish? Seems like he's rushing things. I don't feel that it's the rushing thing. And thank you for the support. We appreciate the super chat. I put this on social media. Everybody lost their minds and wanted to come at me, and I'm not playing that game. You're all wrong, and I'm telling you what I know is correct. He has changed and made an adaptation to his game where he's doing these little look around side passes. They're always off target. Always. He's not hitting them because it's not a natural way to throw a ball. It's not just his normal like sidearm motion. It's this like, I'm going to sneak and look around kind of
It's the submarine action. Like you saw that Tyreek Hill drop. Patrick Mahomes dropped to almost a submarine. That's why the ball rose like it did. And that's why Tyreek dropped it. Because if he would have just thrown the ball, come down and out and throw it. Tyreek doesn't drop that. And he just goes. And a couple of those where he doesn't step into the ball and the throw properly, he missed Tyreek Hill on 2 touchdowns today. On 2 touchdowns where he just didn't step into the throw. Yeah. That's on him.
Well, and normally he doesn't have to step in the throw to make that a completion. But for some reason, it's not working. So go back to your basics, and now you got to step into it a little bit. If it's not working, correct it. Yeah. Don't just keep throwing it the same poor way and expect things to change. And everybody wanted to blame Tyreek on that. I'll double check the 22 for you guys when we get it. I am 100% that was a pass that was, yes, was it catchable because he got his hand on it? Yes. But that was on Patrick being off target. Stevie, very good point, especially after the bye. This again comes back to the miscommunication. I don't know who's calling the plays right now. There's always that relay from Andy to EB to Patrick and around the circle, but I don't know who's initiating, and I'm a little concerned about where this is going and why there are some points when they're all working together, like the first 15 scripted, everything's smooth as butter, and then it falls apart. So there's something going on there. Stack bundles. Willie Gay looks like a player. That's like Don told you guys, I tell you.
He's such a good player, man. Willie Gay is so exciting.
I had to explain to Crocker the other day, like, what's the athletic matrix? I'm like, it's the thing that tells you what you can't see already. I'm telling you. He's like, who are you talking about? Like, just watch Willie Gay. So Croc's going to get it tomorrow. He didn't know it yet, but it's coming. But yeah, to see Willie, and he almost had his hands on another pick today. He was in the right place. He wasn't perfect. He had like two routes in particular that I saw that I think he should have been aware of that he let slip behind him. He's still improving, but just look at the difference in his athleticism on the field versus when it's not. It is night and day. Did we self-scout on O or just arrogance to change? I don't think that it's arrogance. I think it is a self-deserved faith in we're going to keep running this till we get it right. And when we get it right, we're going to crush.
And I was about to say, let's put this into perspective a little bit. If the Chiefs don't drop footballs, let's just put it plain as day. If the drops don't happen in this game, this is 40 plus points. Because what happens is, you guys know, when an offense gets into a rhythm, they look good. Everything happens. They're all feeling it. That first drive, everyone was feeling it. They come out, something happens, drops start to happen. Everyone starts to get disjointed, disconnected. Mahomes is now throwing inaccurate balls. Everyone's dropping things, and they're getting penalties now. You're going to have penalties in the game against Carl Chevers. That's just going to happen, okay? That's what this is going to be. You have to accept it and move along. They were able to overcome some of those penalties multiple times. Mm-hmm. And then you have some of the disconnecting parts. If they were to got into a rhythm in this game, they put 40 on the Broncos, and I'd have zero doubts about that. So mentally, something is going wrong somewhere in putting together of everything outside of the first 15 or whatever, how much they do. So they just need to get back to the drawing board. Patrick talks about it every single week, execution, and they can't get it right. The execution this year has been the worst part of their offense for the longest time that it's ever been. So the perspective, I think that we're seeing the reason they're sticking with the same stuff, because they see it work. But people
they see it work all week long, right? Every day it works until Sunday.
Yeah,
whatever day they're playing. But yeah, again, I think they think that they're going to get there, and I think that's why they're sticking with it. Stevie, thank you as always.
Appreciate
Darrell, isn't it too late for the offense to start finding themselves? In principle, I agree with you. Just remember, Eli Manning won a Super Bowl never finding what his offense was.
Ever. So 2 years, 2 times. He did it twice.
Yeah. It's frustrating, yes. Does that keep them from going to a championship? No. Quite frankly, this whole thing, and I just saw this like blindside, quote unquote. Guys, I know it's a terrible call. It's because the rules.
Yeah, it's just the rule.
It's
a bad rule.
It's written. It's just open interpretation by any referee that wants to throw a flag. It's ridiculous.
And honestly, I don't care about Hitchens doing that. I would have him do it again. You send a message.
I mean, it's not like he clobbered the guy when he's not looking.
Yeah,
it was not a classic blindside. Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, did he creep down a little bit and try to get small? Okay. But he's still standing literally in front of him.
Yeah,
so
he put his shoulder pad in the guy's chest. Like, let's just be what it is. It was a good, nice, clean block, and the NFL doesn't want that kind of hit anymore, because that's what it is.
Because they see dollar signs.
Yep.
That's retirement payouts. That's what that is. Sean, glad you're here. Hope you had a good day. Is the offense ever going to get it together? I mean, I think they will in spurts. What I was surprised with is I did see some single high stuff. Looked like it was some cover 3 mixed in there. I saw some people online saying that they're running all cover 1. They weren't. There was more than I expected, but I would not even call it the majority of the plays. But I didn't see Patrick even really try to exploit and take
which honestly is fine. He's not going to be seeing a whole lot of that, and he needs to get used to seeing or to taking underneath stuff more often.
But it also goes back to the concept of, oh, hey, we have enough to win. We're going to shut everything down.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where that takes me. Bill, thank you very much. I thought Pat showed growth, not forcing balls. Fair enough. He took that sack late when he could have tried to make something happen and tossed it up again. Good point. Great number of throws to both backs, receivers letting him down. Fair enough. 15 unperfect, but better than the stats suggest.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Like, and again, he limited the major mistakes, which hurt this team and put them in a position to not win. So kudos to him there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he made a poor decision in this game. Maybe once or twice, but you watch this objectively, you look at, he's going to the right place the majority of the time. Guys are open, and he found them, and I think that he did a pretty good job of doing that, but continues to get let down. And then mentally, I think that affects him a lot when people are dropping passes and they're wide open. And I think that it's contributing to his frustration with Eric Bieniemy, because what else is he going to say?
And even if it's not like frustrating him, it's ruining his rhythm.
Yeah, it is.
He's a rhythmic player, and I think we forget that sometimes. When he's cooking, he's cooking. But if he keeps getting interrupted with these drops and these negative plays, like it kills his momentum. And I think it's a bigger deal than we ever really let on. And no, Flapjack, I don't think it's back to the Alex offense. because that was a chosen concept. This is reacting to what you're getting on the defense still. I just thought that they'd take a couple more shots tonight, and they didn't. Laddie, how are you? Everybody check out Laddie and his work, please. Laddie, if you have a channel, drop it in the link there or put any link you want in the chat and let everybody know. Isn't it necessary for the offense to go so long occasionally to keep the defense honest? Yes. Except, honestly, if you're just not scared. And I just keep coming back to that feeling like they were just like, as long as we control Javonte, we're going to be okay.
Like, legitimately, that's the only guy that did anything in this game. And I think they knew early on that's how it was going to be.
God. And I tell you, like, this one hurts me a little bit because he was the running back I wanted in this last draft. I was like, oh, I like the way that he runs. He's angry. He could do it all. I'm trying to look here. What did he do? I mean,
he almost had a 200-yard scrimmage game.
Yeah, he broke 100 on the ground, 102, but it took him 23 carries to do it. So, like, I can't even blame the defense for that. That's making him grind it out, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But like you said, Laddie, you do have to keep them honest. You do have to take some stabs. And it helps when your guys are catching the ball. I think, honestly, between that and feeling like they weren't in jeopardy, I think that's why they slowed it down.
But like I said, they had 2 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill. Like, those were going to be – they weren't, like, deep shots. They were over the middle of the field that would have turned into touchdowns after they catch stuff that would have kept them honest because they had just a single high safety back there. And Tyreek's wide open over the middle. So, again, it was there. I'm going to watch this game over again, and I'm going to – they should have hung 40 on them.
It's like this year's the opposite of the Marty years, where it was just machine-like grind, play action pass, grind. You know what I mean? Like, this is the opposite. Like, we know we can do that, but we're not gonna.
Yeah,
we got principles and we got desires, and we're not gonna do the thing that we can do in our sleep. Dave, thank you for the support.
Appreciate
you,
Dave.
as always. Tactics, you too. Too much Hitchens. I actually didn't feel like that. I thought Bolton was great. I didn't see him get exploited in pass. I thought that they rotated enough. I didn't see him in a whole lot of pass sets.
They're doing that on purpose.
Well, yeah. Hey, welcome to the league. Hey, you figured it out. It only took 17 weeks. Where are we? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're getting there. Mac, thank you again. I saw the stat that we lead the league in opening drive points. I don't know why this team keeps taking a foot out the gas. I mean,
you said it, Mac. You said
there's a mustache and glasses.
Like you said it. They lead the league in open drive points. And you saw how easy that first drive was. It was super easy for them. They didn't break a sweat. They just got first down after first down after first down. Did nothing. There was nothing unexpected, it felt like. So the more we talk about this, the more I feel like Ryan is very much right in the fact that they just said, okay, we're done. Let's pack it up and just kind of play the rest of this game out.
If they want a challenge, Coach Reid, I have a challenge for you right now. 15 plays on that call sheet. You don't get to call anymore. Run those 15 plays all game. Let's see what happens. I guarantee you will rumble everyone out of town. Oh, Mac, thank you. Appreciate it. Jaden, thank you as always. Patrick, 0 TDs in the last 2 games, 2 interceptions. What do you think he needs to do to stop playing with Dante Culver? Get back to him. He's just got to have guys that support him. Don't drop the ball. And I think once he gets on that roll, like you guys saw Russ Wilson, right? He kind of got back to himself, right? He got on a roll. He got in a rhythm. Like, I think Patrick needs that. And I think if you fix the drops, I think you fix Patrick and the offense as a whole, because then I think he doesn't have to worry. I think he's distracted by, is he going to catch that when he could be looking up there and like doing his thing. And I just want to stop those wraparound submarine passes. Like, they're driving me insane. I know you're a shortstop. I get it. Doesn't mean you got to do it every day. But like, it'd be one thing if they were tipping passes on him all the time. They're not. You know, like, you don't have to go to that extreme. And I think that has been like, oh, it's part of my signature as well. Like, I didn't even mind the no look thing, which usually makes me crazy. But it was the wraparound stuff that just is.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, I'll shut up.
I get it.
So Dan is tired of this, folks. He's had enough. Chances we keep Ingram over Clark, 50-50. I thought he had a heck of a motor tonight.
Yeah,
Melvin.
Yeah, it's not going to show up in the sacks, but they were pressuring and they're doing a lot of good stuff there, I thought. So yeah, and I think it's pretty good chance that Melvin Ingram is to stay at Chief after this year. I'd say more closer to 60 5% chance that
Yeah.
they keep him. That's what I'm going towards
Yeah,
right
you
now.
had to get that last 5% in there. I see
was
what you
just
did
gonna
there,
say.
buddy. Guys, if you haven't liked or subbed yet, would you please do that if you're new to us? And if you guys want to join the memberships, do that, because some of the new stuff is going to come out, I think, next week. It'll be for members only first, and then we'll get it out to the RGR store. Gooch, yeah, I mean, we can debate whatever you guys want. I'm happy to. Stevie does a great job, and folks, that's another reason. Stevie does all kinds of analytics cultivation into the Discord. You got to see this stuff. I'm not a huge fan of EPA because I think EPA has a significant flaw that I find reduces its value to me, but everybody seems to love it. And it is, on any one given play, indicative of how a team plays. And I do think it is representative. We can talk about the flaws later, but yeah, if you guys want to get into that, you just let me know. Invite me to your show, Gooch and Stevie. Guys, you can catch that. It's called Roguehead Huddle. It's on Fridays. Let's see. All right, Lego, thank you, sir. Appreciate it as always. I'll see if there's something below. Dan, any of your other notes that we didn't cover?
Man, I'm gonna stay on the more positive end because we've been just kind of harping on the offense like we have the last couple of weeks, and I think that going back to winning ugly is as disgusting as it is to watch a game like that. I do really believe that it helps take some pressure off of Mahomes as much as we want him to have the ball in his hands and to put up points. That's Chris Jones, again, being a demolition man. You saw him frustrated after the timeout on 4th down. He was like, look, I'm going to stop this play in the backfield because I know what they're going to do. And the type of confidence that the defense is playing with right now, specifically, Javonte Williams is a different animal in terms of tackling him. You guys saw the graphic. He was the best last year in college of forcing missed tackles. He's the best in the NFL at doing that this year in a time split with Melvin Gordon. So it tells you the kind of caliber player he is in terms of breaking tackles and forcing missed tackles. So it was a challenge. And yeah, they didn't allow him to just break off 30, 40-yard runs. They rallied to the ball. And even though like that, I think that 10-minute drive, the 11-minute drive that Denver had, as backbreaking as that was, I guarantee you they fed off of that the whole game. They said they drove all the way down the field on us for 10 minutes and they got nothing. They got nothing.
That'll fuel them for the next 3 games.
Yeah, that's so incredible for this defense. They were the worst in the NFL in the first 5 games. Right now, they're a top 5 defense in the NFL. And I know they haven't played
5 weeks.
Yeah, I know they haven't played the best offenses, but this is the NFL. Like the Broncos offense outside of Teddy Bridgewater has playmakers. They have legitimate playmakers. And I don't think Teddy holds them back a little bit, but again, they were still able to come out here, and I know that I'm going to ignore the touchdown because the touchdown was just kind of a fluky play that really shouldn't have happened. But again, 10 points which is what I expected them to give up. If you guys remember from Thursday, I did say about 10 points is what it was going to be. So yeah, I think this defense is doing everything right now to continuously give themselves an opportunity to win football games. And at the end of the day, when you're trying to get that number 1 seed, defense is playing really, really well. And I think that that's going to carry them and allow them to finally figure this crap out on offense.
Right. Remember 3 weeks ago, folks, when I told you, hold on, they could still be back into the number 1 seed contest. Hey,
everyone's 8-4.
Yep,
everyone's 8-4 now, guys.
You got to get everybody lose 1 game that you don't lose. That's it. And honestly, I was most worried about the Bengals going forward. I ain't too worried no more.
Nope,
I'm just telling you.
Shouldn't be.
Ornzell, thank you very much for the support.
Thank you.
I'm glad you've been here that long. It's really nice to hear.
Appreciate that.
Brendan, just remember the offense looked awful against Atlanta in week 16. Yes, good point. It came out and destroyed the Browns and Bills in the playoffs. You're absolutely right.
I will say one thing, okay? If they get to the playoffs and Andy Reid just starts destroying people, I'll write it down. Write it down.
Everyone write it down.
I will never ever say anything bad about what he does during the regular season ever again. If he just mows people down, I will never say anything bad again. He can do whatever he wants. He can take this play sheet, rip it up in front of me if he wants to, whatever he wants. I don't
If
care.
they win Super Bowl 56, Dan will never mention Andy Reid's name again.
I mean, I will, but it'll only be in a complimentary fashion.
Oh, thank you guys. Info. Is there any hope for Reid's clock management? Mahomes two timeouts, a kicker who can make a 60 plus, and we let the clock run out. That wasn't mismanagement. That was a conscious decision. I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
but that was a mistake.
No,
they meant to do that.
And the Broncos were just like, we're going to let time run off the clock. And that's why Andy was like, okay, I'm going to run the ball again.
Pat after drops reminds me of SP after an error. Thanks, Mac. I'm not following that one, but I like it. Sometimes I wonder if he's like, how does he keep from just shaking his head?
Starting pitcher after an error.
See, this is. I love that you guys make me think about other sports. I don't do that. I'm a football guy.
Oh, see,
I don't do anything else.
I watch them all.
I watch Jayhawk basketball between January and March. That's it.
I mean, I'm engulfed in hockey right now. I've got college basketball going. I will watch golf.
On purpose?
On purpose.
Oh,
I
wow.
like watching golf. I watch everything. Tennis. Literally watch everything.
Oh, we have more conversations to have that are not about football. Good Lord. Lego, thank you as always. Appreciate you. I'm looking for more from you too. Darrell, thank you. Do you think it would help if Mahomes chewed on the wide receivers a little bit more?
Yes. Talked about this a little bit ago. Yes.
I honestly don't know if him being the heavy would work. I think it's got to come from Reid myself, because there's something about them and their personalities that multiply each other. And I think if you stress that, you could lose something. I won't say you will, but you could. I'd be reluctant. Alex, was the INT on Mahomes or Hill? Yeah, I think I don't want to speak for you, Dan.
I think it's 70-30, Mahomes to Hill.
Okay.
As an NFL receiver, yeah, you should probably catch it. But as an NFL quarterback, you need to make it more catchable for your receiver.
I think that was really well put. I agree. I concur. Chris Thomas, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Stack, I am for some reason can't get your comment to stay up there. Oh, there. Okay, good. Maybe. I saw one design play, a pass play for Clyde, a little flat route about 8 yards. Yep. Did I miss any, or is Darrell decided receiving back? I think that was just game flow. I don't think it was we're going to throw more to Darrell and let Clyde run more.
And they didn't. I think Clyde still out caught Darrell. He had the one big play, which was him just kind of leaking behind everybody, which was, what was it? The 30-yard gain or something like that.
Hang on, let me look.
They said there was 5 targets to the running backs. I know Clyde had 3 catches, so
they ended with 3 targets each.
Okay, so yeah, they've made the conscious decision to basically say you're both getting targets, but it looked like Darrell's was more effective because he just found himself wide open and no one caught him.
Well, that and Darrell got 2 wheels that I remember. One was that longer pass play.
Yeah.
The wheels work in this offense, folks. You have so many people concerned about the deep routes.
Yep.
The wheels work.
Yep.
Run them. Thank you, Stack. Thank you again, Chris. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you.
Bryce, what are your thoughts on taking a receiver with the first draft pick and an edge with the second, since the edge class is so deep? I would prefer not.
The problem with that line of thought is it's really the opposite, because when you start to get into the second round with edges, specifically at the back of the second round, that's where you're going to find that talent drop off. Receiver, if you guys have followed the draft at all in the last 5 years and for the next 5, 10, however long, 7-on-7 has become so prevalent in America that wide receivers are becoming extremely good at a very young age at playing the game. So the talent at wide receiver is not just deeper, it's all the way from the first round and into like the 4th round at times, maybe in the 5th round. You can find players that can break out. Okay. Edge is not going to have that level of depth. So if a guy on your board is sitting there in the first round at edge, I think you are obligated to take him over a wide receiver who's also staring at you in the face.
Yeah. Just take this last draft class. You guys can all name the top 3 wide receivers from it, right? Can you name one of the edges?
I mean, away.
Okay.
Away.
One, but I don't think the whole league could do that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I get it. Jalen Phillips was
In
taken 15th, I think.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like Kwity Paye, like
Kwity Paye.
there's just not as much impact. There's fewer impact ends than there are receivers. Is the way it's been going the last 5, 6, 8 years. So it makes them more premium. Same thing with shutdown corners.
Yeah.
If you want a shutdown corner, you got to pick them high. That's just the way it is. You can have some guys develop. Snead is a complete rarity, guys. You cannot find a L'Jarius Sneed every year.
No.
It doesn't happen.
I mean, they've gotten lucky with Rashad Fenton and L'Jarius Sneed and a couple, which is, like I said, it doesn't happen. So the scouts are really, really good at what they do, but you're not always going to get that lucky.
Now that said, Bryce, if you flip those, I would be okay with that. I can deal with the second round wide receiver. I think in particular, the more that I've watched, and Dan and I'll get in all the film like our normal offseason, you guys. I'm more and more comfortable with the particular group of X's in this wide receiver group. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Adam, looks like Baker was supplementing Hughes on the court. What do you think of his game tonight? I thought Hughes was outplayed by Baker, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, they both had up and downs. I think that Baker's recovery in those times where he got beat shows you he's just a better corner than Hughes is. And specifically the punch out, which is Hughes doesn't make that play. Okay. And Jerry Jeudy's a good receiver, but he did get beat to the inside, but he recovered. You make a play in the football. That's what you have to do. And Baker showed a couple different times his ability to recover. So and the fact that he was active playing in this game makes me much more comfortable about the fact that he's healthy, and they kind of trust his ability if they need it to play a little bit more.
Okay, I agree with you completely, and I just got the text. The pressers are wrapping. I'm going to be doing the Locked On show here in a couple of minutes, you guys. Adam, thank you for your support.
Appreciate
Dave,
it.
thank you for yours again. I'm going to make sure to hit the rest of the super chat. I think we still have a few outstanding, and then Dan will wrap up with any notes that I missed. Dan is steady watching ESPN 8 the Ocho.
I actually don't even have it.
You don't have ESPN at all?
No, I have ESPN, just not
8. The Ocho? Okay.
The Ocho, yeah.
Mike, I like the shirt.
Thank
I'm glad
you
you changed your avatar, and we appreciate it as always. I hope that you're doing well. What is it? 3 a.m. over there? Good Lord.
Nice.
Or no, you're just starting your day. It's like 7
I was about to say, it's in Sweden.
Good
so
for you.
Is gonna be like...
Here's to you. Enjoy your coffee. Or tea, sorry. Let's see. Southern Bell, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Little caddy, Traylon Burks. Yeah, like he's an X that can move. I don't know if he can move all the time, though.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Burks. I don't even know if he's probably going to be a back end of the first guy. Maybe he slips into the second. It really just depends on. I'm a little worried about his physicality. I'll just say that.
I am at times, too. Like, I need him to test well, and I need to understand when he played heavy, because I've heard from 3 different sources now he's played as heavy as 245 at times.
I also need him to learn to not let the corner bully him.
Yeah, for the size, he does not play like up to his size.
No, he doesn't. He plays like he's McCole Hardman.
I wouldn't go that far.
At times. Okay. At times he plays like he's McCole Hardman. Just kind of like, okay, do whatever you want. I can't get off of it.
I don't really want to run this around anyway. I'll just stand here. NY Chief, thank you very much. We appreciate the support. Let's see. Anybody else that I missed? I don't want to miss anyone. That drives me insane. I think you guys know that. Okay, let me just double check, see if there's anything important that I missed. We talk about EB. That was my last note. I do think that this defense is in a place now where even if when they come up against tougher offenses, I think that they can carry the day. I do feel confident they've settled down. They know what they can do. And we don't see any more of that miscommunication on the field with guys throwing their hands up like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, right.
So it feels like that's been sorted out, and I think that's really, really telling for the future here, you guys. So that's the last of my notes. Anything from you that I missed?
Just Spags has been doing a great job, and we talked. You guys remember we talked a lot about early in the season if it had continued, what would happen. But he's secured himself as the defensive coordinator in Kansas City as long as he wants to be. I do believe that he's it took him a little bit longer than we all wanted to figure out to stop playing Dan Sorensen to as much as he was, and to stop doing some things that he had been doing. But maybe that's kind of how he and Andy Reid figure some things out. They just kind of like do whatever they want, and okay, that doesn't really work. So eventually we'll figure it out, and then they do. And now we're seeing the defense really just kind of lock everything down. Maybe Andy's doing the same kind of playing dead nonsense, but we'll find out when the postseason comes around. Because unless they start figuring out soon, the offense is just going to keep limping into the postseason, and it's not the best spot. But I think, like you said, the defense is going to be good enough to carry the day.
Yeah, and that's what matters. If the Detroit Lions can win a ball game, Chiefs can win with defense. It'll be all right. Folks, tomorrow night is the Q&A, and we'll go through all of your questions. I know I didn't hit them all tonight because we tried to do a little bit of both. For all of our crew, Stevie, Gooch, Aaron, Sean's in the chat tonight too. At least he was earlier. For all of us, and for Dan and I in particular, thank you for everything. I know it's late.
Thank you.
These are always a challenge. I think we hit 750 tonight, so I'm glad
awesome.
y'all are doing well. I'm going to do the Chiefs show. I'll be on the radio in LA later tonight. And so California fans, I hope you're still awake. I don't know why I'm doing that tonight. It's kind of silly, but
a little weird.
And then there's Bill pushing my buttons. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. I will not forget you. For younger millennial types, ESPN, the Ocho is a reference to a movie from Dodgeball. Listen, Cotton. That's all I can remember from that movie. At the time, I was
a little bit
it was a fun age for me. Let me just put it that way. All right, folks. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central, as you can see up there. Your Q&A will get your answers to your questions. Hope you guys have a great night. Have a good Monday. We'll talk to you then.